Imagine a land of pure joy, where pain is merely a word in a dictionary, never opened. Siddhartha Gautama, the future Buddha, embarked on his journey in this paradise. His birth, foretold as the advent of a great spiritual leader, occurred in a reality where suffering was a stranger. His father, the mighty King Suddhodana, ruled over a vast kingdom, abundant with wealth and comfort. Determined to shield his son from all forms of affliction, he erected an imposing wall around the royal palace, isolating Gautama from the outside world and its woes. Gautama grew up within the luxurious halls of the palace, surrounded by devoted servants and carefully selected teachings. His daily life was marked by opulent festivities and sensory pleasures, where anguish and sadness had no place. However, even in that idyllic environment, Gautama felt a deep longing to understand the true nature of life. He questioned the purpose of his existence and was troubled by the apparent superficiality of his sheltered world. The king, concerned by his son's growing curiosity and restlessness, took measures to keep him safe within the confines of the palace. He prohibited the entry of elderly, sick or destitute people, fearing that such disturbing sights might awaken in Gautama a desire to explore the outside world. Despite the king's precautions, Gautama increasingly felt unsettled by the sense that something essential eluded him. He yearned to comprehend human suffering and find a way to alleviate it, even though he had never witnessed its true extent. After much deliberation and hesitation, Gautama resolved to defy his father's orders and explore the world beyond the palace walls. He convinced his faithful servant, Channa, to accompany him on his journey, disguising themselves as common peasants to avoid detection. Upon leaving the palace, Gautama was confronted with a shocking sight: an elderly man, bent and frail, struggling to walk along the dusty streets of the city. Never before had he seen someone aged and weakened by the passage of time, and the sight prompted deep reflection on the transience of life. The next revelation came in the form of a sick man, lying on the sidewalk groaning in pain. Gautama felt a pang of heartache at witnessing the unimaginable physical suffering of the man, questioning the injustice of an existence marked by such pain and affliction. The third revelation came in the form of a funeral procession, where Gautama witnessed the farewell rituals of a man who had departed from this world. The mourning and grief of loved ones echoed in the corridors of his mind, leading him to reflect on the inevitable fate of all living beings. Finally, Gautama encountered a wandering ascetic whose serene expression and detachment from material possessions sparked deep admiration in Gautama. The ascetic, unlike the luxurious courtiers of the palace, seemed to find contentment in his simple existence, free from the trappings of the material world. These four profoundly impactful visions triggered an internal transformation in Gautama. He realized that suffering was an inevitable part of the human experience and that he could not escape it, even within the comfortable confines of the palace. With a heavy heart and a mind filled with questions, Gautama returned to the palace, determined to find answers to his inquiries. He secluded himself in his chambers, immersing himself in meditation and deep contemplation, seeking a deeper understanding of life and suffering. For months, Gautama tirelessly dedicated himself to his spiritual quest, fueled by an insatiable thirst for knowledge and a determination to find a solution to human suffering. He renounced worldly luxuries and pleasures, plunging into austerity and rigorous discipline. Finally, after a long period of introspection and self-discipline, Gautama experienced a moment of clarity and enlightenment. Under the shade of a sacred fig tree, he attained the ultimate understanding of the nature of suffering and the path to transcending its domain. Thus, at the age of 35, Siddhartha Gautama became the Buddha, the Enlightened One, and shared his wisdom with the world. He taught the Four Noble Truths, the existence of suffering, its cause, the possibility of its cessation, and the path to attaining peace and enlightenment. The story of Buddha continues to inspire millions of people around the world, offering a powerful message of hope, compassion, and wisdom. His journey of self-discovery and enlightenment is a timeless reminder of the human capacity to transcend suffering and find true inner peace. Thank you for sharing this moment of reflection and learning. If you enjoyed this story, consider sharing it with others and continuing to seek true wisdom and compassion on your own journey of self-discovery.